A new poll has tonight offered Rishi Sunak a glimmer of hope as it shows the Tories have moved to a 6-point lead over Reform and have slightly closed the gap on Labour. Nigel Farage has revealed he does not want to join the Conservatives despite a fresh blow to Reform UK's general election hopes. The Tories have reeled in Labour's lead amid a fall in support for Reform UK, a new poll has revealed. Rishi Sunak's party are on 22%, 19 points behind Labour who are on 41%, according to the survey of 20,000 voters by Redfield and Wilton Strategies. Meanwhile, support for Reform has dropped by 2 points to 16%. Quizzed about a hypothetical invitation to join the Conservative Party in the future, Mr. Farage replied, "Not the sort of club I want to join." Mr. Farage told the broadcaster, "The problem with the Westminster journalistic pack is they think being elected only matters inside that chamber in Westminster. As I rather proved I think back in 1999, when 3 of us got elected to the European Parliament and built a mass movement across the country on an issue that was unfashionable, however many of us get elected to that Parliament, yes, well be there, but more importantly, well build a mass movement across the country." The Conservatives have closed in on Labour's poll lead as support has fallen slightly for Reform UK. The Tories are on 22%, 19 points behind Labour who are on 41%, according to the survey of 20,000 voters by Redfield and Wilton Strategies. The strategic consultancy firm last week put Labour's lead at 23 points. The poll, which was conducted from June 28 to July 2, also found that support for Reform has dropped by 2 points to 16%. Mr. Farage has insisted it is not necessarily vital for him to win in Clacton as momentum is already building behind his campaign. The Reform UK leader said the party gaining some successes is a very, very important part of his plan to become the main opposition party to Labour. But he claimed getting elected to Westminster is not the only way to build a mass movement, pointing towards UKIP's rise throughout the 2000s and the following decade. Speaking to ITV News, the Reform UK leader said, "It would be helpful, not necessarily vital, but it would be helpful." He added, "If you look at that Birmingham event we put on at the weekend, you can see that we've got already the beginnings of a really big ground, mass movement in the country. But getting some successes is a very, very important part of this." Amid rising concern over the views held by some of Reform UK's candidates, Mr. Farage said, "I don't know where these people came from. You know, I started a month ago. All these candidates were in place. But I learned that a lot of them were sort of a last-minute call, please would anyone stand? And clearly, as a result of that, Terry's there are some people there that ought not to be there. That's not reflective of me, the party or the vast majority of people." The Reform UK leader admitted it has been a struggle to stand 600 candidates in such a short amount of time. He said, "I think we and the Greens suffer from it, yes, because I think for us and the Greens fielding over 600 candidates was a very, very difficult thing to do with a snap election. I did actually at the last minute get a London vetting company involved, but they didn't do the job. Look, it's a startup. It's a startup. Of course, there are gonna be teething problems along the way, but it's not reflective of what I stand for, what the leading people in the party stand for. And hey, I tell you what, in 4 weeks we've made a hell of an impact." Former Cabinet Minister Anne-Marie Trevelyan, the former International Development Secretary, told Times Radio, "There is no love for Starmer, there is no real sense of confidence. I think there is real anxiety about Labour's potential tax rises. It's been so opaque the way they've described what they are or aren't going to do.